must help a woman stalked by a man with unnatural abilities.
I can feel him watching me all the time.
How's he see her when she's alone, in private?
Now Angel has become a target of a man who will destroy anyone that comes between him and his obsession.
Nobody can break the bond between us.
An all-new Angel.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Slade, the Buffyverse Revisited. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I am your other host, James.
And this week, we're going to be diving into Season 1, Episode 4 of Angel, I Fall to Pieces.
Yes.
James, I sensed you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in myself. I couldn't come up with something clever to say at the beginning of this episode.
Well,
A little disappointed. I kind of got caught off guard. Like I knew what was happening, but I don't know. It didn't register until it was too late, and I just had to go with the regular opening. Oh well.
all right. So, James, we haven't seen each other in quite some time.
Yeah.
How have you been doing?
I lost a leg in the war.
Okay, which war?
The war of I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Okay, all right. That was a banger.
I'm clearly firing on all cylinders right now.
Clearly. So yeah, you're doing good. Then I take it.
Yeah.
All right.
How about you?
I too lost a leg in the war.
Oh, what war?
I don't know, but it was a war, and I lost a leg.
It was. You know what it was?
Now, I found the leg.
Yeah.
And
Were
yes,
you able to reattach it via psychic surgeon?
yes, but they put it on backwards.
They put it on backwards.
So now literally every step forward is a step back.
It's a step back. Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I'm doing good.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I remembered the war. It's clearly the war on wokeness.
Oh, is that okay?
Being waged by Ron DeSantis.
Is that the "Go Woke, Go Broke" slogan comes from that?
Yeah.
So basically, what they're saying is, be a decent human, and we'll ship you.
And you'll lose money, right?
Okay.
Is what they're saying.
I mean, that seems perfectly nice.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine.
I mean, it is Ron DeSantis after all. I mean,
Right.
shouldn't be surprising.
No.
Yeah. It's like trying to pick up a turd from the clean end. It's just not.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not
going to happen.
Not a thing.
Yeah. So. Anyway.
Segue.
Speaking of fascism.
Yes, James.
I don't know. Again, I have no idea where I'm going with that.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
How about if we read some viewer and listener comments?
Okay.
For Angel Season 1, Episode 2, Lonely Heart.
Let's do that.
Okay. We already covered Darlene's comments in our previous episode. How about, who else do we have? Oh, we've got Catherine. Left us a comment. Let's see what she has to say. She says, I enjoyed this episode, but not one of the better ones. Seemed like it's more of a filler episode. I liked seeing them trying to get Angel to leave his office and get out and get to know people, and then in the end, letting him get back to one of the things he does best, brood. I loved the timing of Doyle's vision with Cordy smacking him. Doyle is awesome as usual. I love that character. He says some pretty pervy things, but the way he says things versus the way Xander says stuff is so different. He is actually funny. I'm not a fan of Kate. She is such a baby, like on the same level as Riley. The demon this week was super gross, but it was an interesting premise for an episode. I give it 3 grappling guns. OSW, you make me a little sad that you don't love the show, but I've always been a diehard fan, so anyone not liking it is crazy to me. Hopefully, as it goes along, you will change your mind. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think Jeremy and I both pretty much agree with everything you said there. Although I don't know if Doyle's really that much different than Xander.
Well, he's definitely more charming and more. He just comes across less douchey.
Yeah. For some reason, his skeevy, pervy comments don't bother me the same way they do with Xander.
Yeah, because, and I don't know why. I can't give it legs. I don't know why, but yeah.
Coming
from Doyle, it just doesn't seem well. And with Doyle, all of his skeevy comments are directed towards one. Like he is head over heels for Cordelia.
I think that, and that's what I was just going to say. I think that's what it boils down to. Like Xander, especially in those early seasons, like he
just skeeves on everybody.
Right. Like he wanted Buffy, but he jumped at the chance of, getting with the Inca mummy girl and then, Cordelia and
then cheating with Willow.
And
he's wearing a shirt that says porn star on it.
Right. And you've always kind of got this knowledge in the back of your mind that no matter who he was with, if Buffy showed him even like the slightest inkling of interest, he would drop them in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Whereas with Doyle, he's pretty much single-mindedly focused on Cordelia.
Right. And she knows it. So.
Right. So, but, let's hop over to the old YouTubes and let's see what we have also for Angel Season 1, Episode 2, Lonely Heart. And we've got our good friend S-Dubs. And she says, cello, as per usual, a hello to Dee and Catherine, and also a special biatch, where have you been? Hello to Silver Siren. So this obviously isn't common knowledge, but Silver Siren and Darlene are one and the same.
Correct.
So,
which I didn't know that for the longest time until she actually told me.
Oh, so I don't know if I just let a cat out of the bag or anything, but they're one and the same. So there you go. I have to break this into 2 chunks in response to my comment from last week, and then my thoughts on this ep. So let's get this out there. The wink. Are you sending through FedEx, DHL? Remember that ep? But yeah, when I gave Jeremy shit about his roommate working for DHL. Yeah, I remember that. UPS. I know, me being organized is a super turn on. It just gets the people going. I am organized to a fault. So yeah, it kind of is. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, everything turns James on, so
that's not true.
Okay, it's
like right now, you're really not doing it for me.
Wow.
Oops. So James, if you would have added daddy, the voice after the wink, then it would have solidified it. Oh man. Oh. I am married, but I will not return that wink, sir. It was a gift and I'm keeping it and say thank you. Also, excuse me, James, you winking at me, but mention the lovely Darlene every pod. Are you being a playa? I am not a playa. I'm the fucking master of ceremonies. Anyway.
Okay.
Are you feeling okay?
No, as I said, I'm a little under the weather, and with this being our second recording, I'm a little drained.
Well, perk it up, bitch.
Okay.
Get your game on. I laughed the entire time. I'm so flattered, honestly. I had to rewatch it again just for Jeremy's face. I actually didn't watch this particular YouTube episode. What face were you making? Do you remember?
I'm lost for what?
I mean, possibly when I was winking at S-dubs.
No, I was probably gagging,
I'll
pulling
have
my
to
eyes or something.
I'll have to go back and watch. Your face does do funny things. Um, Anywho, I do love you guys. Remember, you two and the two ladies are the only ones I listen to, which really means I can stand listening to you for an hour or more. What can I say? I'm picky. David Boreanaz is not even close to hot. Have you feasted your eyes on mother effing Jensen Ackles? Again, yes. Yeah.
Wait, no, she made that. She already said that.
She made that comment with the Buffy
Yeah, I don't
episode
get
too.
the Jensen Ackles thing.
I love me some Daddy Jensen. I do. I like I said before, I was a Supernatural fan. She says want to, but haven't seen Supernatural either. I highly recommend it. It's so good.
It's hard to get into though. There's 39 and a half seasons.
Yeah, but it's over now, so you at least you don't have to worry about new seasons coming out.
True, but in order to binge it, you have to take like a year off of life.
Well, S-Dub said she's married anyway, so she doesn't have a life.
Boy. S-Dub, I did not say that. Direct all comments to this fucker.
I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's not like marriage is akin to death. No, I'm kidding. Idris Elba.
Like getting married is the end of your life.
Right. Idris Elba, Henry Cavill. I mean, guys, DB doesn't stand a chance. He's cute. We will fisticuffs over this. I mean, you bring up also other
Idris Elba.
Yeah. I mean, you do bring up valid points. Idris Elba and Henry Cavill are both very attractive men. No disagreeing there. But are they?
No, they are not.
No, they're not. They're not.
No.
Yes, I'm dark. Dark humor. Suck D if you don't like it.
That's pretty much how we roll.
Yeah, we like it. So, yep. And Jeremy likes sucking D. So,
believe me, we could get a lot darker. But we reined it in.
Right. Hoping you're starting to get my personality, kind of feeding back what you're giving off. Good. Yeah, 100% on that. I would love spoilers. Spoil me, Daddy. Yes, I only wrote that because I heard it in James's voice, and I only said it that way because I knew you heard it in that voice. For real, I actually don't mind spoilers because then I think about how did they get to that end/conclusion. But as we now know, I'm freaking weird, so this tidbit shouldn't surprise you. Random. You have James P. Mayberry. Why you adding the P? Is there another James Mayberry? Are you a junior, but not really because of your middle name? That's the case with my dad. Just curious.
The P stands for penis.
No, it doesn't. It's because it's the name I was given, so I'm very proud of it. It's who I am. It's very Jeremy will understand this reference. It's very Duncan MacLeod to me. That's always who I will be. No, it's
I was like, where is this going?
yeah, no, it's well, you remember because Duncan gave that speech and I forget what episode, But anyway, no, it is because my dad was James Walker Mayberry, and my mom wanted me to be a junior, and my dad did not want me to be a junior. So my middle name is Paul after my
Wait a minute. So combined, you two are.
James Paul Walker Mayberry.
Oh my God.
Yes, we are Paul Walker. Yeah.
Par Walker.
Yeah. But yeah, my dad did not want a junior. So my middle name is Paul, which was my grandfather's middle name. My grandfather on my mom's side, which actually sidetrack to the story, wasn't really his middle name. My grandfather didn't have a middle name. His name was Peter Moyer. No given middle name, but everyone called him Peter Paul. So that's how I ended up being James Paul.
Did he ever rob himself?
No, he did not. So that's why it's James P. Because when my father was still with us, he was it was the easiest way to differentiate between which James was being referenced.
James P. Up in this bitch.
Right. So, and now that he's passed on, it's just I
Everybody just calls him shit.
yeah, no. It's just, like I said, I've always been James P. So that's, oh, that's what it's all what it's always going to be. Do, 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 do. I will definitely admit when if I'm wrong. I trust you to. Once you said there is a series Big Bad, I felt much better. Thank you for making me laugh so hard to tears, giving me a compliment. You can keep them coming. That's fine. LOL. Being cool about my unpopular opinions. I enjoyed Jeremy's blunt, 3/4 crass, sarcastic personality. James, I enjoy the out of pocket things you say because sometimes it's not normal.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I noticed that about, I don't know, not too long after I met him.
And I love it. Cut on the base. I'll laugh at that one for a while. I see some of my personality in both of you. You also cut yourself at the base of your dick?
No.
Is
No,
that?
no. Oh, I thought you were asking me.
No, she said she says, I see some of my personality in both of you. So I was asking, did she also cut herself at the base of her dick? Which is nice to see since most people on podcasts aren't truly themselves because they need sponsors.
And we're all like, we're never getting that. So
no. And honestly, even if if some fantastic miracle from the powers that be happened and someone were to come to us and be like, we want to sponsor your podcast, there would have to be a serious discussion about nothing changes.
Literally. You just write us checks.
Right.
We will push your shitty product that we don't really care about.
Right.
And other than that, nothing changes.
Right. Right.
And if you don't like it, there's two things they can do about it though. They have two recourses.
Mm-hmm. And what are those?
Nothing and like it.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say they can suck it.
Oh, let's get ready to suck it.
If you threw your headphones at the David Boreanaz comment, everyone brace yourselves. You also might not like me after this, but I do not like Breaking Bad. I tried 3 times. I just don't. Also watched 1 ep of Sopranos and then told my husband, nah, I'm going to give it another go here soon. I've never seen Breaking Bad, so.
Well, Breaking Bad is, I can understand people not getting into that. It's the, you have to be into that type of drama
Right.
for it to grab you, because that's the kind of show that's got to grab you, I think, at least, that's got to grab you right out the gate.
Right by the dick.
Right at least by one of the testicles.
Right.
Or one
Right.
labia. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're just.
Well, there is. Yeah.
But as far as The Sopranos goes, if you're not into The Sopranos, might be something wrong with you.
I have never seen The Sopranos either.
Well, it doesn't surprise me about you. I know you're fucked up. I mean, Jesus. You don't like cheeseburgers. Do I need to say anything else?
As an Italian American, I find The Sopranos very offensive.
Fuck you.
And derogatory towards
Fuck
my
you.
people.
Your people. Listen, anybody that doesn't like cheeseburgers, I'm trying to think of a nice way to say it. But there's something, you have a mental deficiency.
I already told you it's not specific to cheeseburgers. It's just burgers in general. It has nothing to do with the cheese. I love cheese.
No, I know, but who doesn't like a big, sloppy, nasty cheeseburger?
Me.
Do you like pleasure?
Yeah.
Well, then something's wrong with you.
No. I don't like hamburgers. Sorry. Street corn and bologna are both gross. End of discussion. Well, I would disagree with you on street corn, and Jeremy would disagree with you on bologna. So,
I guess we can both just go fuck ourselves.
I guess that is the end of the discussion.
No, I actually don't hate street corn. It's got, you know what I'm saying when I say it's got that flavor to it that regular, boiled corn on the cob or grilled corn on the cob doesn't have, and I just don't care for it that much.
Yeah, it's got more flavor because it's got the cojita cheese, the crema, it's just delicious. It's just delicious.
A cream of some young man, which that's
wow. Now on to Angel Notes. They're not as long. Sarcasm. I found this episode boring as well. Still on the let's get rid of Doyle train.
Hold on tight.
He has Xander-like tendencies and not the good ones. Yes, you too. He does have a few, very few. Xander?
Oh, she's saying Xander has a few good
qualities. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he does. He has a few good qualities. I mean, literally a few.
I'm not into accents, especially German. Sorry, Germans. I'm sure they're all very offended.
I was going to say Doyle is not German.
No, you're right. Kate's a whore. Spelled WHUORE. God, I love this.
I don't like Kate at all. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because you got all shitty at me, and I was like, am I really the only one that doesn't like Kate? And I'm not, because isn't she this? Was it Catherine or Darlene that also said they didn't like Kate? I think it was Catherine.
I think it was Darlene.
Okay. Well, at least I'm not alone. I just never did care for
her. She even called herself a slut. Props for being self-aware.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. She was undercover and she thought Angel might be the killer.
Yeah, so but she knows deep down that she's a hooer. She knows. Because what the fuck did she... What does she say to when he walks in this episode, spoiler alert, when he walks into the police station, he's like, "Hey, Kate." And she's like, "Oh, hey, you look awfully nervous. It was either to ask me a favor or ask me out." And it's just like, whoa, why don't you just strip down right now and drop to your knees, for Christ's sake?
Can you blame her? It's
Well, yeah, but I mean, do you have to be an upfront hooer? I mean, be a little undercover about it.
no. I would be like, I would strip down naked and be like, do with me what you will.
Well, that's because you're an out front cunt. See, you are. You let it all hang out. But I'm
'Cause
saying Kate is
'cause I'm a
supposed to be
freak.
Kate is supposed to be a respectable member of the law enforcement department. And she could at least pretend just for a little piece of time that she is not a hooer.
Kate, oh, I don't trust men. 3 sentences later, want to go somewhere quiet? Whore.
Right?
Again, she thought Angel might be the killer, that she was undercover trying to lure.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure. Fucking likely story.
Oh no, I hate awkward anything. Their faces. I feel secondhand embarrassment. Weird holding gives me the icks. I'm presuming she's talking about when our
When
first couple is in bed.
yes,
It is pretty awkward.
and they have completed their coupling.
Right. They've finished coitus.
She finished, but he didn't.
That's
'Cause,
not usually how it works.
He looked like a little bitch, though.
It's not usually how it works.
I know, but obviously she finished. She's smoking a cigarette and ashing on his back, and he's just laying there holding himself like a little bitch.
So he can't have an O at all, ever? That's not true happiness. I mean, it's happy all right, but I thought it was the combo of the big O with Buffy, whom he loved deeply, was why he lost his soul. And you can get around that a bit, you know? I feel like no one wants to risk it for science. Jeremy, I know you will. Daddy!
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I don't. To me, it's he has to be in love with that person and achieve orgasmazazos in order to lose his soul. Like if he goes and picks up, let's just say Tammy, and lays a little pipe there,
Right,
he's not losing his fucking soul. He's not reaching true happiness.
right.
Who could be truly happy? Fucking, I'm just saying with Tammy. Come on, we all know what Tammy looks like.
Right, right.
That's just a hit it and quit it situation.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
a triple bagger.
It's a triple bagger. Triple bagger and hit it from behind.
And with the lights out.
And with the lights off. Maybe put a
So
pillow
yeah,
in.
I know, but in all seriousness, I agree. In my mind, it's always been he has to be in love with the person.
Right.
Like everything the whole circle has to come together for the curse to trigger and yank his soul.
Right. Do we ever get an answer to these questions, Jeremy?
Never. Not ever.
Yeah. I don't know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Do.
But why are all these hookups so freaking awkward? Oh, girl, just eat him to shut him up.
Right.
I would, of course, I would have already pieced out by then. No odd stranger holding for me. What the motherfuck is that? Didn't see that coming. Why the apparent awkward necessary checks? I don't get it. Yeah, I mean,
with like on movies and TV shows, when you see a couple people hook up, whatever their gender, doesn't matter what genders they are, you'll see a couple of people hook up, and then the next day they're always like in the bed together. And I'm like, how many times have you hooked up with somebody when you're like, well, I guess I'll just roll over beside you now in your strange apartment and sleep with you in your strange bed with my head on your possibly lice infested pillow. And no.
Me, never, because I always bring the ladies back to my place and then make them leave.
And then throw them out accordingly.
Right.
Right. Listen, any self-respecting hooer is going to leave on her own.
Right. In your case, it's after you've paid them.
Right. Wait. You son of a... You know what?
Jeremy has turned his camera off again. In protest of being mistreated by me. So,
I've about had a goddamn enough.
thoughts on Kate? Meh. That is all. I honestly don't know where all this Kate hate is coming from.
Kate hate? Well,
Yeah.
no. Apparently, you and well, no. I guess you would be in the minority. I think there's three.
I appear to be in the minority here when it comes to Kate. I think y'all are.
I always felt that way, but because I watched this show from episode 1 to the final episode, and I never did like her. I was like, and I don't know. It's not the actress, obviously. She's fine. I just don't like the character.
Right.
I'm like, it's just unnecessary. The whole cop friend on the inside, and just unnecessary.
Awkward checks explained, kinda. You can get fluids other than sex, but I guess it's just one horny demon. Oh wait, Kate, you didn't question the blood in the fridge? Good job. Sarcasm. Again.
Thank you. So I am not the only one who fucking said that.
Go back and watch the episode. It's clear when she opens the fridge that there's no blood in the fridge.
I know this, but as I said, that's pretty fucking convenient plot armor, because any other time, 24/7, 365, he's got fucking blood hanging in the goddamn refrigerator.
If I'm not mistaken, when Doyle opened the refrigerator in the first episode, there was also not blood in it.
Well, you are mistaken, because there absolutely was blood because Cordelia had been down there and opened up the refrigerator and was like, oh, that's right, you don't drink or eat anything. And it was just blood hanging in there. So go fuck yourself with a cactus.
Roast him. I'm presuming she's referencing Angel throwing the bartender / demon into the homeless fire pit.
Conveniently placed dump
55-gallon
drum that was on fire.
Yeah. I give it 3 out of 5 daddies. See you next week. All right, see you next week.
We actually won't, though. It'll be like 2 weeks for us.
Right.
We live in the future.
That's it, though. So thank you for your comments and reviews and ratings, and
keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
It gives us something. It makes work doing this worth it. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, God, we were what 3 seasons into this and hadn't heard a word from fucking anybody.
Yeah, very, very, very little. It does make doing this more worthwhile. So, and like I've said before, it oftentimes gives us an opportunity to kind of think about the previous episode that's being discussed, and kind of think about things we might not have thought about while watching that you guys pick up on or you've interpreted differently or whatnot.
Somebody always brings up something that I say, oh shit, yeah, we didn't even look that up.
Sure. A lot of times in these, you'll probably have noticed I'll say something like, this is a good point that we really didn't touch on, much when we, revisited the episode, and then, we'll talk about it a little bit. So yeah, it 100% makes doing this much more enjoyable for the both of us. So yeah, keep them coming. And I will.
And when he says coming, he means on his face.
and I will I will try.
And I will just ignore that.
I will try to rein in my non-normal out-of-pocket comments.
I,
So
however, will not.
so that there's a little more civility to this podcast.
Fuck
And
you.
I won't keep talking about cutting myself on the base of my dick.
Well, I'm let down and disappointed. James,
Yes.
I'm in the mood for pizza deets.
Okay, so how about if you're in luck for one, because I just built a outdoor wood burning pizza oven
Oh, did you?
in the backyard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Just now, just today.
this over the last couple of days. So and another bit of luck, I mixed up a batch of 00 flour earlier, or a batch of pizza dough with 00 flour earlier today, because
Mhm.
everyone knows 00 is the best flour to use for pizza crusts.
Everyone knows that. Come on.
Right. So let's do this. I'll roll out the dough. I'll give it the old woo 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 like they do. Spin it, drop it onto the
You look like you were underneath a horse giving oral satisfaction.
I'll put it on the pizza paddle.
Okay.
Which
Ooh, now you're saying paddle. Ooh.
which is also what I call my penis.
A pizza paddle?
It's a paddle.
Okay.
Um,
Sure, the ladies love that.
they do. And then what I'll do is
Flat and really wide.
and long.
Flat. You have a 2D penis?
It's traditional animation style. No Pixar penis here, my friend.
No, baby, this is a 2D wang all day.
This is straight up classic Disney, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs type shit.
You're only getting satisfaction in 2 dimensions.
Once I've got that pizza crust all laid out, here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to take some Angel season 1, episode 4,
Mm-hmm.
our 4th episode of the series overall, and I'm going to spread it out.
Because it's already in pieces.
No, the crust. I'm going to spread it out. Like, that's our sauce. Okay.
Wait, I thought that was the crust.
No, the crust. No, the crust is I made with the 00 flour.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm just gonna slather. Well, hold on. First, do you like a lot of sauce or light sauce?
I like light sauce.
Light sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna lightly slather it with some Angel season 1, episode 4, our 4th episode of the series overall.
Uh-huh.
And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some episode title "I Fall to Pieces," and I'm gonna sprinkle that over it. Okay. And then I'm going to take some episode director Vern Gillum, and I'm also going to sprinkle that all over.
Could you hold the Gillum to just a light sprinkle?
Yeah, we'll just put a light sprinkle of Vern Gillum on it. Okay. Then I'm going to take some episode credited writers David Greenwald and Joss Whedon.
I definitely hold the Whedon.
And I'm going to lightly butter the crust with that. Okay. And then I'm going to take some October 26, 1999, which was our original air date, and I'm going to sprinkle that over it too. We've got a lot of toppings on this Dates and Deets pizza.
Well, listen, a proper pizza is loaded.
Right. And of course, that October 26, 1999 air date has some originally aired on the now defunct WB network mixed in with it.
Right,
okay.
right.
And then I'm going to add in some 3.6 million household Nielsen ratings when it first aired,
which isn't bad.
which isn't bad. And that's going to bring it to 90th out of the 137 network primetime shows that aired that week, and third out of the 15 primetime shows airing on the WB for that week.
Okay.
And then I'm going to let that sit while I go to the pizza oven, and I'm going to throw just a bunch of our regular cast, as always, includes David Boreanaz as Angel, Charisma Carpenter as Cordelia, and Glenn Quinn as Doyle.
Mhm.
You're
throwing them all into the oven.
into the wood pit to get the oven going, so it gets nice and hot.
So they are in fact on fire.
And then just to really get because this pizza oven, it's got to get up to like 700 degrees to properly cook the pizza. Okay.
Dude, I cook a pizza at like 425, bro.
Well, that's because you're not doing it properly.
Okay.
A pizza oven, good pizza, like you have to be. It's got to be like 700 degrees so you can cook it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stoke the fire with guest stars Elizabeth Rahm as Kate Lockley, Tushka Bergen as Melissa Burns, Andy Umberger as Dr. Ronald Meltzer, and Carlos Carrasco as Dr. Vinpur Natpudian. Okay.
Can you say that again? That last one?
No.
Okay.
And that flame's going to be really going now, and we're going to be up to temp in that pizza oven. At which point I'm going to put that pizza in there, and we're going to cook it for approximately. Our episode synopsis this week reads: Angel and Doyle encounter a demonic neurosurgeon with a penchant for using his medical skills to terrorize others. And then I'm going to pull it out, and you're going to.
Whoa! We're having dinner, bro.
And then the pizza. I'm going to pull the pizza out of the pizza oven.
Okay.
And then you're going to have a piping hot Dates and Deets pizza right there in front of you to dig into.
I have dessert.
Oh, please.
It's the my episode description for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Angel aids a woman being stalked by a deranged surgeon who is literally coming apart.
Yummy.
What?
That sounds like a fucking feast, man.
Well, is it at least like a 28-inch fucking pizza? Like I'm talking one of those motherfuckers. Like,
oh yeah.
That'll just. It takes at least a table full of people to eat.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
All right.
Yeah. And then when we're done eating, we're going to cut to Angel Investigations, where we find Cordelia and Doyle discussing the need for actual income to match the outgo from their business. And at which point Angel come upstairs and he takes a couple sips of week old coffee, and Cordelia is kind of relentlessly harping on the subject of fees, to which Angel is stubbornly resisting. And at that point, they both turn to Doyle, who he starts to weigh in with his opinion, and then conveniently, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. He's saying that actually making their clients pay for Angel's help would probably provide them with some sort of closure, as opposed to feeling the need to, repay Angel in some way.
With like a handy.
Right. But before he can really make the point, he has a vision, and it's of a young woman named Melissa Burns. And we cut to her office, and her and a coworker are messing with a cake so they can wish another coworker happy birthday. And this other coworker, Penny, blows out the candles, and Another coworker shows up with some flowers, and they all assume that they're for Penny, but it actually turns out that they're for Melissa from someone named Ronald. And she seems kind of disturbed by this, and she ends up heading off to the bathroom, and she takes some pills and then leaves the office.
You do realize you blew right
I
through.
right by the cold open, yeah. So I'm just gonna finish it up here, and she gets confronted by Angel down in the parking garage, and he's kind of like awkwardly asks if she needs any help, and then gives her his card, and says if you need anything, call the number on the card. And then
like,
I'll
anything,
she's like, anything,
and he's like, anything.
I'll let you pick it up from there.
Well, after he says anything, we start hearing.
Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken,
In the
brown cow.
background, he's slowly disrobing,
Mhm.
but then he trips and falls over the side out of the parking garage. No, we cut to an ATM, and Melissa's there, and she's putting in her PIN code, and it's telling her negative, Nancy, wrong PIN code. And she's like, well, first of all, my name's not Nancy.
Right.
Second of all, you're an ATM. How are you talking to me?
Right. And then she puts her PIN code in again, and the ATM's like, it's still wrong. Get your shit together, bitch.
Yeah. And it actually, a hand comes out and smacks her. Not like super hard, but just, like a,
right, just like a little.
It's like, you dumb bitch. What's wrong with you?
Right.
And she's like, well, I never.
Right.
So then we hear a voice that says, it's not going to work. And she's like, whoa! And she turns, and it's Ronald McDonald without the makeup. He's civilian dressed. No, but this is Ronald. He's really fucking weird and creepy, as everyone has watched the episode would know. And he has changed her fucking PIN number, which, first of all, well, this was 99, but these days, no bank is going to allow you to use your birth date as your PIN code.
Right.
But this is 99, so I guess I can go with it. But apparently she had used her birth date, and he changed it to 3599 because that's the anniversary of their first date. And she's like, yeah, our only fucking date that was like 30 minutes long. So yeah, he's a great big ass fucking creepazoid and stalker and freak. But he's also, as we discover, a fucking doctor, because he gets his pager. Yes, kids, pager, beeper. Google it if you don't know. His pager goes off, and he's like, oh, damn it, gotta go it's surgery, gotta go. And she's like, okay, well, hey, could you die while you're gone? And he's like, I'll try.
Yeah, she's like, listen, Ronald, if it wouldn't be too much of an inconvenience, do you think you just fucking die?
Do you think while you're gone you could die?
You just maybe just fucking keel over?
Or here,
would that be possible?
How about this? Throw yourself out of your office building. How about that?
Right. Or in the alternative, maybe as you're prepping for surgery, take a scalpel and stab yourself right in the fucking eye.
Or now I know this is asking a lot, but hey, go across the old jug.
Slit your own throat for me.
Yeah.
Just for me. Just do me a solid.
Say you love me after all.
Right. And just fucking kill yourself.
So obviously she makes a call to Angel Investigations, and Cordelia's like, yep, you better come in lickety splickety. And Melissa's like, I'll be there in my own good time, bitch.
Right. She's like, what the fuck does lickety splickety even mean?
Right. And are you hitting on me? Because I'm not gay.
Right.
So that's our 90s gay joke for the week.
Right. Yes.
That in-
Actually, no. Our
No, but
nine.
we're gonna have the hard R here in a little while.
We are. Yeah, we are. Our 90s gay joke for the week came in the cold open, and I fucking blew right by it.
Did it?
Yes. So, all right, we're gonna back up real quick.
Okay.
Doyle makes a comment about Angel disappearing into the darkness, his long coat flowing behind him, and Angel's
actually call it a joke. I would almost applaud them.
True. And Cordelia says something like, are you sure you're not attracted to Angel or something like that?
And he's like, no.
Right. And then Angel comes up and they do the whole coffee thing. And then Doyle gets the vision and Angel's like, grabs his coat and he's like, looks like I'm going to work. And they do a slow-mo shot of Angel like flipping his coat over him and sliding it on, and the coat billows out behind him as he's walking out towards the front door. And Doyle's watching him, and then he looks at Cordelia, and then he looks back at towards where Angel was, and he's like, maybe I am a bit attracted.
Yeah, and like I said, I'd almost applaud him for that.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, so
and I was like, I'm definitely, I am chubbed up. I'm
chubbed up. You were diamonds, son.
Right.
I know you were.
I could have built a small cabin with how much wood I had.
Dude, a cat couldn't scratch it, all right? Let's just put it that way. So Melissa is relaying this whole story to Angel and crew, and informs them that he's actually a doctor, Dr. Ronald Meltzer, and he's an acclaimed neurosurgeon who performed critical surgery on an infected nerve she had behind her eye. Which, is that really a thing?
I don't know.
How the fuck do you get an infection and a nerve? I'm going to assume it's the optic nerve behind your eye.
Same way you would get it.
I just hope that's not real.
Same way you would get an infection anywhere else, I would imagine.
But okay, I'm just saying. Can you just go with me and pretend like it's not real?
Oh no, I think it's very real.
Fuck you. Okay. Fuck you and everything about you.
I think it's something you should definitely be worried about.
I hate you. Hey, James, could you do me a favor after we get done recording, in all seriousness?
What?
Could you kill yourself? Asshole. So where did I leave off? Yeah, so she has the infected nerve, and he apparently it's a difficult surgery, and he pulled it off and was able to save her eyesight and yada yada. Yes. So then he was fucking eyeballing her and shit, and like, yo, we should go kick it, and she's like, I don't know, and he's like, don't be a hoe, and then anyway, they went on a date, they had a drink. He was immediately like, you should marry me, and she was immediately like, I need to go wash my hair.
She probably shouldn't have let him hit on the first date.
Well, that's what she gets for being a
whore.
Thank you, James. And then she goes on to say how, for the last several months, he's just not taking no for an answer. He's stalking the shit out of her. He's knowing he constantly knows things that like he shouldn't know, and she's like, it's like he's watching me, and I can.
That's actually something that we probably should have mentioned in the ATM scene. Is he tells her exactly how many pills she took in the bathroom at work, what she did with the pills he prescribed for her to help with her anxiety. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just all kinds of things that he wouldn't have really any way of knowing.
Yeah, there's just no way he could have known a lot of these things.
Right.
And so the gang is like, Angel's like, okay, we got this. We'll handle it for a price. And she's like, how much? And he's like, I'll fucking tell you after it's over. But you better have a checkbook. No. So she leaves, and they sit around. They're trying to figure out, okay, what ways could this fucker be doing this? Astral projection. Is he maybe some kind of a ghost? And Cordy's like, well, it doesn't always have to be, supernatural. And he's like, well, it came from a vision to Doyle. I don't think they're going to send visions for, run of the mill fucking stalker boyfriends.
Right.
And Cordy's like, fuck yeah, you're probably right. And he's like, of course I'm right. I'm Angel.
I'm fucking Angel.
Hello.
My name's on the title card, bitch.
My name is on the show, bitch. It's not called the Cordelia Show. I mean, goddamn.
We don't work at Cordelia Investigations.
Right? Because the only thing you'd be investigating is fucking. Never mind.
Lip color and my dick.
And the dick. No. It's
man.
the next. Oh god. Don't let me go by the scene with the hard R.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. So, then we cut to Meltzer sitting at his desk in his office, apparently, sipping a drink. I'm going to assume bourbon on the rocks. Could be a brandy. I'm going to assume bourbon. And he's got a creepy fucker. He's got a framed photo of Melissa on his desk. And then when we finally pan up and see his face, there's an empty socket where an eyeball should be. And then when we cut back to Melissa's bedroom, where she is changing out of her negligee, we see a disembodied eyeball just kind of floating behind her, watching everything. So that means back in his office, he is now unzipping.
Oh my god.
He is. He's that kind of guy.
He is that kind of guy.
So then Angel goes to Le Police Department. And sees Kate. He's like, yo, bitch. And she's like, what up, bitch? And they fist bump. And then chest bump.
They fist bump. Let's fist bump.
They fist bump. And then they chest bump. And then
and then they do one of those weird handshakes where it's like,
like
bam,
slap,
bam,
bam, all that crazy shit. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's weird.
And he's wanting to know if Melissa's ever filed a complaint about this whole thing. He explains it's, she's his client and what's been going on. And Kate, of course, knows all about this fucker. And
well, no, she has to go pull the file.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I'm skipping that shit. I'm not gonna talk about every single fucking step. I'm not gonna show you how the pizza's made, okay?
You should.
Well, I'm not gonna
talk about all of it. Penis.
Oh god. So Melter's lawyers are none other than Wolfram and Hart.
What the fuck? These guys again.
These fucking guys again.
These fucking
fuck out of here. They have of course taken strong measures to protect their client, even going as far as to put a restraining order against her.
That's smart. That's smart.
Yeah, but
he violated it.
It would serve the same purpose.
Right.
Like if he were to be, if she were to catch him around her, she could just be like, "Yo, there's cameras at this ATM. You see this motherfucker walked up in my grill. Let's get a little bit of fucking clink clink to the fucking." You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Come on.
A little clink clink to the fucking clink.
Right.
Right.
But it doesn't happen. So now Angel's like, "Wow, what a piece of shit." Kate goes into this spiel about stalkers and victims mindsets, and I don't know. It just seems like a bunch of gobbledygook to me. I'm not real sure how accurate any of it is because I don't know what it's like to be the victim of a stalker. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, so I'll say this. I also don't know because I don't have that kind of experience with it, but I I would think that what she says probably tends to be very true. That the only way someone in that situation can ever really feel safe and have peace of mind is for they themselves to take that power back.
You gotta take the power back.
And
Sorry.
I would think that just having your stalker or whatnot in jail might not always be enough for those people. They would still be fearful that the person in question is going to come for them at some time.
Well, that's why you pay to have him shanked in the cafeteria. I'm just saying.
Sure.
Kate offers to have a uniformed police officer watch her building for at least a couple of. She says you can spare one for at least a couple of days, and Angel's like, "Wow, a couple of days? Fucking thanks, Kate.
Yeah,
I thought we went back further than that.
Right. Thanks for nothing.
Thanks for nothing.
Remember when you were a straight up whore at the club when we met?
And I didn't take advantage of you. Remember that?
Right.
Remember
And this is how you pay me back.
So let's see. So Doyle's playing bodyguard and accompanying Melissa to work, and I'm like, wait a minute. Her work is just cool with just this guy that's just gonna be there, and I mean that's okay.
Apparently.
Okay. And while he's doing that, Angel's breaking into Meltzer's fucking office, looking for leads, and he's looking at different books, and one of them is, God, I should have wrote it down, and I didn't. It's a book about, it's
called Anything's Possible.
Yeah, by this specific author who
Vinper Natpudian.
Yeah, that guy. Had inscribed it to him, yada yada yada. And Angel's like, well, I need to get a closer look at this, so he just straight up puts it in his jacket. And Meltzer walks in on him, and so Angel pretends to be, somebody that's willing to pay him a lot of money to do this dangerous surgery on his wife that doesn't exist, and yada yada yada. And so the guy's interested. What name does he give him? I forget. What name does Angel use?
Brian Jensen.
Brian Jensen, right? And and that he's got this place called Jensen. He runs a place called Jensen Holdings
International Holdings. Yeah. Well, we don't actually find out the Brian part and the company name until Meltzer calls later in that later in the episode. Yeah.
Yeah. So in another part of the clinic, Cordelia is playing the part of a reporter who wants to write a story about this guy. So she's talking to various people, and one of them's a nurse, and she actually goes on to tell Cordy that Meltzer never shares his techniques or his findings, and claims to be able to, and claims to actually have done like some really fucking amazing, almost impossible shit. And at one point, Cordy's like, so does he ever strike you as how does she say that? A great big creep or something like that? And the lady's like, what? And so I found that funny.
We are way past the scene where they drop the hard R.
Okay, that's what I was just about to say. So I'm sure everybody watched the episode, saw it, but yeah, there's a scene there with Cordy and Doyle, and she just straight up tells him he's retarded.
And he looks like a retard.
Yeah, that he looks like a retard, and I'm like,
yeah, I audibly groaned. I was like, oh,
yeah, I was like, really? I know it's 1999, but and I'm not going to lie, I used to use that word all the time back then. So, because to me, it was just like a word, like, I didn't think of it the way I think of it today, you know? So I'm not going to lie and say that I was some fucking angel or something, but that I was angel, huh? But, yeah, I don't know. It's not a word you hear anymore. So when you do hear it, it's like, oh, really?
Right.
Really?
It's
But anyway.
it's like we've talked about this quite a bit, especially in relation to Xander. It's there's a lot of things that were gotten away with back then, dialogue wise and whatnot, that wouldn't fly today. And that's really like 25 years of us as a society kind of like
Being like, yeah, that's probably not
right, like growing and being like, you know what, it probably is something that needs to go the way of the dodo.
yeah, because I mean I used to call my friends retards I'd say, oh, you're such a retard, and then but it's just not a word you hear anymore. So
Right.
when that type of shit pops up, you're like, oh, did I did
Right.
that really, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, back at AI, also known as Angel Investigations, Angel's looking for information about Vinpor Natpudian, which is the author of this book that he stole from Meltzer's office. And he sends an email requesting a meeting. So when he gets to this meeting, this guy's a doctor himself and tells Angel that Meltzer attended lots of retreats that he had done with famous yogis and was able to master a combination of psychological and physical techniques that make the neurosurgeon that makes him an expert in psychic surgery, which they never really flesh this out and go into it. So you're just going to have to say, okay, he could just do psychic surgery. That evening, Melissa's asleep, and oh, I have a problem with this. Ronald.
So do you mind if we go off on a side tangent a little bit?
No.
So I did look into psychic surgery.
Oh, okay.
And it is apparently a of course pseudoscientific medical fraud.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the people that practice it create the illusion of performing surgery with their bare hands.
Oh, is this like where they'll pull like chunks of like a chicken liver out and be like, look what I pulled out of you, and oh yeah, that shit goes way back. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. So that's what psychic surgery is in our world.
In our world, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, in this world, it means literally psychic, so that he's like able to use his mind to. It's fucking stupid. Like if they had just said that he was a warlock or he had learned spells, you know what I'm saying? Like psychic surgery, it's just dumb. But so yeah, that night Melissa's asleep in her own bed, and Ronald's disgusting fucking severed hand comes fucking all up on her bed, and they crawl up under the covers and shit, and it's just fucking creepy. And then Nerd Boy standing right outside her apartment, watching, looking in, when a cop comes by, and he's like, yo, fucking show me your fucking hands. And Ronald McDonald's like, well, I was just out having a walk. And he's like, hands now. And Ronald holds up his stumps, and that gets him off the hook, because the cop's like, oh, you don't have any hands? Well, you can't possibly be a malevolent person then. So you may go, sir. Free of any interrogation whatsoever, even though when I pulled up, your face was glued to this fucking fence while you were staring up into these people's house. But you're free to go, Stumpy.
And please, my condolences.
Yeah, it's just dumb. So, yeah, the hands wake her up. She sees them. She freaks the fuck out, as I fucking would have.
Time out. What do you think those hands were doing under the covers down there?
They were rubbing her clit. And they were giving her one in the pink or two in the pink and one in the stink.
The shocker.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't going to be as graphic about it, surprisingly. But yeah, I kind of got the impression that that's what was happening too.
Yeah, the other hand, because there was two hands.
Uh-huh.
The other hand was actually caressing one of her breasticles.
Okay.
And so she woke up to an orgasm.
Tell me more.
It freaked her the fuck out.
And tell me more.
That's all I've got for you, buddy. So yeah, she goes flying out of the apartment. The same cop hears it, so he comes running up and like breaks the glass to get inside of the interior of the apartment complex, and gets up to her and he's like, "Yo, what's fucking happening?" And she's
Time out
like,
again. Time out again.
Yeah.
Did this look at all familiar to you?
Is this in fact the Hyperion?
This is in fact the Hyperion.
Okay. I thought so, but I wasn't 100%. Oh, sorry. I wasn't 100%, and I hadn't looked it up, so I wasn't going to say anything.
Yep, it is the same building that will later be used for the Hyperion, which is actually the Los Altos Apartments in Los Angeles.
Okay. So, yeah, the cop's like, what's going on? I can't help it if you don't tell me. And she's like, in there. So the cop goes in there, and of course he finds nothing. And he's like, there's nothing here. And then these disembodied hands come up behind him and grab him. And somehow, against all laws of physics and gravity, are able to manhandle him. And they're just pummeling this cop, these two severed hands, whilst she runs out screaming like a lunatic and runs right into Angel, who for some reason punches her and knocks her unconscious. No, she. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Yeah. So, they don't see Meltzer out. They're not that far from him, but he's behind he's in some overgrowth, so they don't see him. And of course, this is when the police all arrive on the scene, and Kate comes over, which I'm like, why would Kate be there? But whatever. She wants to know how, given the lack of evidence.
I'm going to interject that Kate's there because it is the scene of a homicide, and she is a homicide detective.
Well, is it a homicide? Because I didn't know that they ever said that the cop died.
The cop is dead.
Okay.
Because in this scene, they call her over. The detective, we need you to sign off on the coroner's something to do with the coroner.
Okay. All right. I missed it. So he's like, fingerprints, bitch. And Kate's like, Roger that. Doyle shows up, and he's just all creeped out by this whole thing. This guy that can just come apart and shit. And then so he and Angel take Melissa back to Angel's apartment, or his dope ass crib, as I call it. And Doyle starts like taping up every single crack and crevice that there is to the apartment that his creepiness could get into. And at this point, Melissa's kind of like, you know what? I'm tired of being a scared little bitch. And, I'm gonna sack up. And Angel's like, well, you stay here with these two idiots that cannot protect you. And I am going to go and find Dr. Kevorkian. And
that's a reference. Well, maybe not. That's a reference no one's gonna get.
Oh no, I know my sister will get it for sure. So Angel starts searching the phone book for a place to purchase steel boxes that late at night, because the plan is Or wait, have they discussed the actual plan? Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have. Okay. The plan is you can't kill this fucking guy, which I never understood how they came to that conclusion. Like, you can't just put a bullet in this motherfucker's head,
Yeah.
and kill him. But for some, they've decided you cannot kill this man. So you have to just take him all apart and keep all of his parts separate. And then eventually they get old and atrophy. And then that's it. He's done. So that's the plan. Meanwhile, the phone rings and it's Mr. Creepoid himself calling Jensen Holdings International. And Angel takes the call after Cordelia pretends to be the secretary. And he's like, I've decided to do the surgery for your wife, but it'll have to be out of the country and $100,000 up front. And Angel's like, are you at your office? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, I'll bring it tonight.
And then Angel was like, what are you wearing?
And then he was like, nothing. And Angel's like, you goddamn right. And he sprays a little bit of fucking really cheap, like Target cologne on. He's serious about this one.
Yeah.
So then Angel shows up at Meltzer's joint and he's got this big metal box. Looks like a safety deposit box.
Yep, it is.
And he's like, so I didn't actually, and he's like, what, bring the money? I know all about you, fucker. You've just been trying to pelvically thrust my fucking girlfriend. And blah, 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 blah. And he shoots him with a fucking dart. And he says, oh, yeah, that's a paralytic drug that's going to stop your heart. And now I'm going to go.
I don't. So go ahead, finish up this.
Oh, no, spit it out sometime this fucking month.
No, go ahead and finish this and then we'll talk about it.
He's just like, so it's visually going to stop your heart and you're going to die. And then he picks up his scalpel and he's like, in the meantime, I've got to go teach this hooer a lesson.
Right.
And somehow he knows where Angel's place of residence and business are. But yeah, so he heads off.
So I know this is going to sound weird because I've defended certain aspects.
No,
similar,
I will not look at your dick pic.
similar to this, but here's my question: Do we think that this poison actually affected Angel, or is he faking?
Well, I'm saying it affected him, yes, because it shows, like, from his point of view where shit's all getting like woo,
Right.
But it's obviously not going to kill him because it can't stop his heart because his heart's already stopped.
Right. So, and that leads me to my next question: how is this poison circulating through his system
Without having a pumping heart?
Right.
I've said it before. I know. I know.
Like, I know there's certain things I can
little things like that they overlook that I'm like, oh.
But there's also certain things. There's certain things.
Listen, there's certain things I'm not willing to look about.
There's certain things I can look past. At the end of the day.
And then there's certain things that I can't look past at the end of the day.
And this is one of the things that I can't look past. No, so there's certain things that I can look past. And, like, them removing bullets from Angel when he gets shot and things like that. I find that
just stupid.
Like, that I can get. That I understand, because who wants to walk around with bullets in them? Like, okay. Like, that part makes sense to me. I'm kind of on board with your whole, like, why do they have to fucking bandage his wounds after they do remove the bullets? But this kind of thing, I don't know. Like, it always bothers me. Like, in particular, these types of things, well, like with poisons. Like, how are they even circulating through the system in the first place?
And there is no system because all of his organs are just...
Right. And
how is he always drinking coffee? Because how is he taking a piss? Because apparently he has no functioning bladder or kidneys.
And the only time I didn't let it bother me was back in season 3 of Buffy when Faith shot Angel with that poison arrow. And the only reason I didn't let it bother me then is because they specifically said it was a poison
It was a
specifically
magical poison
designed to kill vampires.
Yeah, if it's a magical when it's magical, they get all the leeway they want because it's
Right.
magical. But if it's
Right.
just a paralytic from this fucking doctor,
Right.
it's fucking dumb. Just as dumb as bandaging a vampire's wounds or anything else. It's fucking stupid. He's a vampire. What if you don't fucking bandage it? What's going to happen?
Right. Right.
Nothing. So I don't know. Anyway, Cordelia and Doyle are keeping an eye on Melissa. She's asleep, and is that Angel's bedroom and his bed, or is that a spare bedroom? Like
No, that's Angel's bed.
Okay, so she's sleeping in Angel's nightly emission blankets.
Oh my god.
And it's true. So she's like, how'd you get her to sleep? And Doyle's like, I put whiskey in her tea, like enough to drown my aunt, whatever. And he's like, and that was a big bitch. And Cordelia's like, okay. And I'm like, how did she not taste the whiskey?
Right.
You know? I'm like, if you put that much in there, you wouldn't even taste the tea. Like the first thing would be like, why is this whiskey? Anyway,
is this 12-year age Glenmorangie?
Inside reference. So despite the duct tape that's literally everywhere, Meltzer arrives and he sends an eyeball up to watch through the door, through an opening. It gets through and gets one of his detached hands is through the sewer system and up to the fucking trap door, and it's working on that thing at the same time. And they get weapons and shit, and they're all like, "Bring it, hand." So he opens up the grate and he sticks his fucking face down there because that's what you want to do in the dark. And the severed hand grabs Doyle and pulls him down into the sewers at the same time that the fucking other hand all of him grabs Cordy and smacks her up against a wall, and like she's like, oh, and then he does away with her into like a closet. And then Melissa wakes up and she's like, bah! And his severed hand comes back to him and he bends over and it reattaches to his wrist. And so now he's got the scalpel to her throat, and he's gonna do her in, and she starts fucking just reading the riot act like you're just a fucking creep that nobody loves, and you know that nobody will ever love you, and you're gross and all this shit. And then he just all of a sudden killed himself. And the credits immediately rolled. No. But she's just like, I'm not going to be afraid of you anymore. And you can stab me, cut me, kill me, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, when it's all over, you're still going to be the fucking unlovable, fucking unfuckable loser that you are. and he's like, wah, 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 wah. But at that very moment, Angel shows up, obviously not killed by Meltzer's drugged bullshit dart.
So there's a funny couple of lines here where I forget exactly what Melissa says to Meltzer, but he's like, his response is, it's in regards to Angel, and his response is something like, then how is it that I killed him, or something like that. And that's when Angel shows up and he pushes open the door and he's like, ineffectively.
Yeah. And he's like,
I got a good chuckle out of.
And Meltzer's like, how can that be? You're not human. And we're all at home like, duh. And then the most awesome attack that has ever or will ever happen in any show
takes place. It's so fucking good.
Where he just goes, rah! And his fucking teeth fly out of his mouth and they go and they attack Angel. And so Angel is literally no. They go and attack.
No, they attack Angel.
Yeah, they do it. Okay,
They
they
chomp
sped
down.
his shoulder.
No, they chomp down on Angel's forearm.
Okay.
And he fucking smashes this guy's teeth
Yeah.
against one of the pillars.
Yeah.
In his dope ass crib.
And then he shoots his hand, and that grabs Angel by the throat, and
yeah.
So yeah, they're having a big fight with his parts, and then he fucking spears that fucker with a scalpel, and his ear starts to fall off, and at that point, Angel rushes up behind him and basically decapitates him. But it's not like a permanent thing. He's going to have to like break him all up into pieces and put him into different boxes. So the next day at AI.
Hold on. So this is another funny, like after Meltzer's like his teeth are smashed on the floor of Angel's apartment. He's like, he's like, we could have been so happy. I lost my
an ear, no teeth,
right, and then his ear falls off. Like I lost it. I was like, what?
And then he runs up and knocks like Kabonks' head off. It's fucking hilarious. It's actually getting an extra point in my rating for this scene alone. So the next day at AI, they're discussing his fate, and he's like, yeah, he's in fucking 12 different steel boxes under concrete at this new subway stop or something. And Melissa drops, yeah, right. Melissa drops by to thank everyone, and she brought him a little house plant. And I'm like, okay, that's gonna die in there because there's never any sun.
Well, she says it because Angel's like, I hope it doesn't need light, and she's like, oh, it'll be fine in here.
Yeah. And of course, Cordelia is clearing her throat and trying to get Angel to say, can you pay your fucking bill? And she's like, oh yeah. That's the other reason I came. And she gives him a check, and fucking Cordelia's all stoked and shit. And she says to Angel, I hope I never see you again. And he's like,
me too.
Oh, me too. And yeah, that's pretty much the size of it.
Yeah, that's the end of the episode.
Credits.
Roll that beautiful bling footage.
Yeah.
Jeremy, would you like to guess our body count for this episode?
2.
That is correct.
Of course.
Good job.
I'm a motherfucker.
Way to follow along.
Way to watch the episode that I watched.
Way to watch the episode. Our music this week, as always, is just Christoph Beck and Robert J. Krall with our original score. Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Would you please go fuck yourself?
Okay.
No, would you tell me and
how I will go and fuck myself?
Yeah.
In
detail, Daddy?
With a cactus, probably.
With a cactus?
Maybe a shoehorn.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. I like it.
I like pain. It's my pleasure.
Daddy, tell myself and our lovely viewers and listeners, on a scale of 1 to 5, how many disembodied body parts do you give this episode?
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay.
I was gonna give it a 2, but like I said, the hilarious final fight, I'm gonna give it an extra point. That kind of I don't know. I wouldn't say that it made it better, but it was so funny to me that I was like, all right, you guys get an extra point. This episode was just full of so many hard to swallow,
right.
For me at least, hard to swallow, plot armor and just bad writing, honestly. Like, it was just a whole lot of small things that added up to just a shitty episode. In my opinion, some people may love this episode. I know the last scene fucking cracks me the fuck up. I could watch it on repeat like once a week. It kills me. But yeah, I call it a 3. It's definitely not on my need to watch list. But it is what it is. Some problems and it's still worth a watch for a chuckle at the end. But I won't rip it apart too much. We pretty much said during the review, we brought up most everything that was like, well, come on now, that's kind of stupid. But
right.
So you add all that up and you get a 3. James,
Yes.
how many flying teeth karate chops do you give this episode on a scale of 1 to 5?
I'm going to give this 3 flying teeth karate chops. I actually, even though it only garnered a 3, I enjoyed this episode a lot more than I remembered enjoying it going into it.
I honestly didn't remember it at all.
I remembered it as having been one of my least favorite episodes of the series. And that hasn't necessarily changed, but going into it, I thought my rating was going to be lower than what it is. By the time it was over, I was kind of like, you know what? I it's still not a standout episode in my opinion. But I enjoyed it, like, for what it was. So yeah, it's a 3 for me. You know, there there's a lot of it's a weak episode. It's 100% a weak episode. So yeah, I think kind of to go back to the if I was flipping through channels and saw that Angel was on and it was this episode, would I watch? I would probably find something else to watch.
I'd watch some porn or something.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it's not a. It's just it's weird because I don't think it's a bad episode. It's just not a good episode.
Yeah, there's just too much hard to swallow silliness to me.
Yeah, and you have a hard time swallowing.
I do. It's wait, what?
What?
Huh?
Spitters or quitters.
Yep, that's right. Okay. Anyway, James, BuffyRevisited.com.
Yeah, that is a webpage that exists.
Ever heard of it?
It is a webpage that exists. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
BuffyRevisited@gmail.com. You ever heard of that?
It is also an email address that exists. Yeah.
Okay. Facebook page of the same name and YouTube channel of the same name.
Yeah. Well, I actually don't know what the name of the YouTube and Facebook pages are. They're not Buffy Revisited.
No, but they're not hard to
Right. But if you go to BuffyRevisited.com, you will find links that'll take you directly to our Facebook and our YouTube. And if you go on the Facebook or the YouTube, you will find posts about these episodes. 2 posts every week. One about the episode of Buffy we're revisiting that week. One about the episode of Angel. Hop into the comment section. Give us your own thoughts, opinions, reviews, and ratings. Comments and concerns about the episodes, about the series overall, about the podcast, about me, about Jeremy, about what kind of content you want to see over at the OnlyFans at Nipples.
More nipples.
Right, probably more nipples, or maybe less nipples, and more of something else. Hard to say. Shoot us an email at buffyrevisited@gmail.com. We can also talk about any of those other things, or any of those things that were previously mentioned. And in regards to the YouTube channel, if you go there right now, you can watch Jeremy, get ready for this.
Okay.
You can watch the video version of this very podcast. that they're listening to right now.
Is this now or is this then?
It is both, my friend.
Dude, brain just
I know.
my thought box
I know.
has erupted.
I know. It's better than when your fart box erupts. Don't
That's
like
true.
that one bit. Don't
true.
like that one bit. Yeah, and you know, like I said, there's gonna be a video for the episode of Buffy, and there's gonna be a video for the episode of Angel. Jump into those comments. Leave us your thoughts, your reviews, your comments, your concerns, your questions, your opinions, your ratings about those episodes and about the podcast, about me, about Jeremy,
About my nipples?
about my nipples. That was my
Oh.
really bad William Shatner.
Yeah, William Shatner. All right. Thank you, James, and thank you everyone for joining us this week. Next week's episode is season 1, episode 5, Room with a View. Or as they like to put it, RMW/AVU.
Yes.
I don't know what, but they did. And join us the following Monday for Buffy, which will be season 4, episode 6, I believe.
Nope.
I don't
Episode.
know. Yeah, no, it should be 6 because next week's Angel is 5, and Buffy's ahead.
Is it?
Yeah, Buffy's on Monday, Angel's on Wednesday. Listen, the following Monday after that will be Buffy, whatever episode it is.
Beer bad.
Whatever. It'll be a Buffy episode, I promise. So, with all that being said, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next time. I've been one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
Ta-ta.